Yo, it's over for Slam Cells because we're listening to Waking the Cadaver, aka WTC, aka World Trade Center. People, I'm not listening to this record. Last time I heard Waking the Cadaver was when I was a teenager. Or I'm showing my age here, yeah. For all you young ones out there. And to be honest with you, if Waking the Cadaver are still bringing in young kids, I gotta give them props. I assume most of the people who come across this series of videos with me listening to this probably around the same age as me. I reckon that's the general market. But MySpace era, blood splattered satisfaction, chase through the forest or chase through the woods, perhaps it's called. Jeez, dun dun dun. This was on the same level of Annotations of an Autopsy. Did anybody ever listen to Annotations of an Autopsy? This band's still going. This band is still going, Waking the Cadaver. And I've not really followed them since I used to download music off of LimeWire. This band ridiculous. This band was ridiculous back in the day. And I've got nothing more to say. I don't know where this came as far as their catalogue's concerned. Maybe this was their debut LP. It's going to be a brief one. We're sitting at 11 songs. We've got an intro on it. We've got an interlude. We're generally looking at like 2 minutes 30 upwards a track. And we do have a revisit to two classics, the ones I referenced. We've got Chase Through the Woods by Something. We've got Blood Splattered Satisfaction. Type of Secretor, that rings a bell. I think I heard that back in the day as well. But this is gonna bring it back to me. I'm doing this one for a bit of fun, people. It is going to be a first time listen regardless of my past experiences, because there are a couple of songs on here I will have heard. This will be like re-recorded. I'm looking forward to this. This is a bit of fun, as I said. This is a blast from the past for me. This is very self-indulgent, self-absorbed. But if you like Waking the Cadaver, leave a message down below. If you were around to listen to this intense music, I mean, essentially back in the day, I would still consider this deathcore music, even though it's sort of like brutal death metal or, you know, whatever you would call it. I don't know what else you could consider it. Slam to some extent, maybe. This all just fit the MySpace scene kid criteria back in the day, and it was absolutely lovely. Alright? Anybody ever listen to Broken Side either? We're going to do intro, and we're going to go into track number 2, Always Unprotected. Alright, let's jump in. Where are we at, people? I got a couple of drinks with me tonight. It's the weekend. I'm going to listen to another record after this. See what the Patron's saying, what you want me to listen to, and we'll go from there, alright? SSD control on the shirt tonight. Thought I'd wear a bit of merchandise. Don't normally do it, but here we are. Because it's just been put up on streaming services. First time since ever. If you want to listen to some good hardcore punk, that's like one of the best records ever, in my opinion. Oh, to me, this intro's unnecessary. Who cares? Who cares? You're not setting atmosphere because we just want to hear some ridiculous vocals. We're only going to end up with an advertisement after this. Always Unprotected coming up.
Switch to Chrome to protect yourself from malware. Less worry.
Here we go. I'm excited. I liked this band back in the day. Just before I get into it, you know, I knew a couple of bands. I mean, this is an American band, but where I was from, in Northern England, we had scene kid bands covering this band every once in a while. Everybody was tuning to Drop B tuning, playing deathcore music. And I don't know what tuning this. I assume this band was like in A, perhaps. Drop A. But I heard a couple of Blood Splattered Satisfaction covers back in my day. Tell you that. Here we go, come. I mean, generally speaking, it's a bit, all over the place. But this particular section, this noise, and instrumentally speaking, it sounds like some extreme gore grind band. It sounds that snare makes me think of Last Days of Humanity. If you know about Last Days of Humanity, let me know down below. I'd be shocked if you do on a Waking the Cadaver video. Here we go. That bass drop. That was a bass drop. We need to bring back bass drops in music. Outside of like overtly produced like modern deathcore music, like down-tempo music. We need more bass drops. I ain't heard a good bass drop since ever. No one's using bass drops no more. Ignorant. Ignorant cricket vocals, good blend, a good blend. It reminds me a little bit of that Devourment record, Molesting the Decapitated, when he went into that death metal vocal. Because we had that on the last track, Baby Killer. And it's a nice change from the extremity, from the cricket vocals, from the Predator vocals. Well, we got Graped, should I say, Pillaged and Gutted coming up next, track number 3. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV, listening to Perverse Recollections of a Necromangler. What a ridiculous title. This one's entitled Graped, Pillaged and Gutted. Let's go. Track number 3. Come on now. So initially on first track, I was referencing deathcore a lot because this band was really, really set the world alight as far as alternate music's concerned when deathcore was like at its pinnacle. When I say deathcore, I mean real deathcore. I'm so happy, right, that I actually can be an old head in some regards and say I was back in the early days when it meant something. Now, I know the roots of deathcore is within the 90s, right? There are deathcore, like real deathcore sounding bands in the 90s, albeit maybe almost unintentional, that derive from like hardcore death metal crossover circuits. But to me, 2004 to 2006, maybe 7, that was deathcore. That was the sweeped fringes, the dyed hair, the drop-tuned dun-dun, dissonant dun, dun 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 dun. The Scene Kid phenomenon, that to me was deathcore, and I'm so happy I can honestly say I was a participant of that, because it's not often you can say you were part of the debut of a subculture to some degree. So I say that I'm excited. If you haven't watched from the first video, I'm doing this for a bit of a laugh. Waking the Cadaver, to me, it was one of the MySpace bands that really... It's like when I was listening to Hawthorne Heights on this channel. This links into where I was finding myself artistically, tribally, and so forth. So it's actually really exciting for me to listen to this. But I was referring to this band being deathcore. You know, if I had only just heard this band now, I mean, we'd say it was a slam band, because it sounds slam as hell, doesn't it? Let's be real. Literally speaking, this is a slam band, but you know, arguably it sort of falls within the brutal death camp as well. You know, it depends on what you consider. You know, let's be young, wild, and free with this one, yeah. I mean, these dudes are still playing events, and I'm sure they pull a great crowd still, because why not? They're a good band. But I think they could have really utilised a fantastic momentum from when I knew of them. Because everybody who was into, like, extreme music back in the day knew about Waking the Cadaver. There was a lot of meme videos that got posted around. Of course, the classic Shredded Wheat video, and arguably they could have been dying fetus, in my opinion. As far as that initial push, if they utilised that and really fucking went flying forward with it. Come on. We're drinking vodka tonight, people. Gravity blasts are insane. I had a drummer in one of my bands. I used to play in like a hardcore crossover thrash band, and our drummer was really good, really good. He still plays from time to time. He's a really good drummer, and he was quite neat with his blasting. And gravity blasts, we threw a gravity blast or two in one of our tunes, but live it doesn't translate like it does on record, because you just can't generate enough power unless you like trigger the drum or something. I'll be with you in 1 second. Turning the light off. So on record, oh fucking hell, people, come on now, come on. So on record it sounds proper bold and insane, but as far as in a live setting, unless the microphone's doing magic, it doesn't tend to convey in that sort of manner. You have to sort of stick to the blast beats. Right, where are we at? Come on, people. I wonder if they keep the sample in. I don't know which. I don't know if it was Chase Through the Woods or Blood Satisfaction, but one of them started with a sample, didn't it? I think. Am I wrong in saying that? Maybe it was either that or I'm thinking of that Mortician tune, because there was a Mortician track that a band called Catalepsy covered, and that had the whole "I drink your blood" sample, and I don't know if I'm just thinking of that one. Come on. Come on. Hardcore. This is a hardcore breakdown, isn't it? This is hard because this is like not even a lower denominator primitive slam. This is like a drop D 2000s hardcore, tough guy hardcore breakdown, which there's not enough of nowadays, to be honest. I'd like to start a band where we just tune to drop D and do breakdowns like that. You know, if you like that sort of stuff, listen to First Blood, man. Ridiculous. What more can you say? It's ridiculous, isn't it? Connoisseurs of Death coming up next, alright? Track number 4. Jeez, straight to it. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Waking the Cadaver. We've had plenty to say so far. I'm sure we're going to have plenty to say coming up. Connoisseurs of Death, this is track number 4. Let's go. Bro, this is 2000s as hell. This sounds like a band called Underneath the Gun. They did an intro track called Death Card, and it's the same rhythm. Dun 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 dun. Come on. I mean, this is why you can't just strictly call this band a slam band, because there's so many different elements in here. A complete sign of the times. Come on now. This sounds so ridiculous, man. Ignorant as hell. Ignorant as hell. You know, I listen to these bands and I think, what sort of impact would these bands make in my local scene by putting a record out that sounded like this, like sort of from the get-go as a demo, perhaps, or just like as a record from the get-go. Here's the debut. Check it out. And I think, what sort of impact would it have, and how would people react? Because obviously nowadays, Waking the Cadaver, they can come and play and have an ignorant crowd, like, given that they're playing on the right bill. But if they just from the get-go says, yeah, we're a band who want to participate in this like crossover hardcore scene, and this is our music, a lot of people think this is brutal as hell. This is fucking wild. Like, just ignorant people just clocking people in the head and stuff. Obviously, back when this band came out, wasn't the case. We had hardcore dancing, but it wasn't necessarily tough guy stuff. They advertised and marketed to a different crowd. Probably not by intention, but it was a sign of the times. Let's keep going. We've got an interlude and then Type A Secretor, if that's how it's... Type A Secretor, if that's what it's entitled. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's keep going. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Waking the Cadaver, Perverse Recollections of a Necromangler. Track 5 of 11 is an interlude, and then we're going to run that into Type A Secretor. If that's how it's pronounced, I don't know. Don't correct me. Well, correct me. I don't give a fuck. Let's keep going. One for the potheads there. I'm sipping tonight, people. I got Smirnoff and a lime Pepsi Max, yeah? We're sipping tonight. Or should I say today? We're starting off early. It's the weekend, people. Come on, let's get to the point. Let's get to the point. Let's get to the point.
How'd you eat?
It wasn't the best track on the record, was it? That intro was nice though. The blending with the bong hit with them vocals, such an incredible and surreal mix. Really cool. Tire Iron and Bludgeonment coming up next. All right, hold on. Yes, now bless. Now don't forget to rest. Now Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. We're getting waved tonight, people. We're getting waved. Tire Iron and Bludgeonment is the title of this one. Track 7 out of 11. We're listening to Perverse Recollections of a Necromangler by WTC. That's World Trade Center, Waking the Cadaver. Let's go. Death metal. I know something's coming up here, but what? It best be good. Ignorant. Do you reckon, are them vocals pitch shifted by any
Careful
chance?
now.
What do you reckon? Are them vocals pitch shifted? We got a classic coming up next. An absolute classic. Blood Splattered Satisfaction. I'm looking forward to this one. Let's keep going. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV. We're taking everything back to my youth now. I've heard the original numerous times. Covered back in the day numerous times. This is a revisit to Blood Splattered Satisfaction. We're listening to Perverse Recollections of a Necromangler. This is track 8 of 11. Let's go. That bass drop's crazy. I don't remember that in the original. Ding ding ding. Did the blood splattered satisfaction? Come on. Quality tune, eh? I think Chase Through the Woods is probably the people's favourite, you know, cause that was up there as second like favourite back in the day, at least. Good tune, brought it back. The bass drop was nice. I felt like in the original the vocals were a little higher initially at the start, they're a little more intense. Productions brought them down a little bit there. We got Pigtails coming up next, alright, which is going to be track numero 9. Let's keep going. Yes, now bless. Now don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, track 9 of 11. Perverse Recollections of Necromangler. I mean, let's be fair, I can only call this one Pigtails, can't I? Let's continue moving on, alright? Let's go. Waking the Cadaver. First time we've really introduced the bell here. Very underrated as far as metal and death metal adjacent music. Using the bell on them cymbals, what is it, on the Crash or the China, I don't know where the hell it's used. Very underrated. It's one of my favourite elements. Come on. Ba, ba, ba. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Underwhelming. Anybody heard of the band Nagaroth before? It's been popping up every once in a while. Bruh, I went to a hardcore do not so long back and someone got kicked out. a neo-Nazi fella who was throwing up salutes in in the pit, believe it or not, and yeah, he got kicked out of the venue, and he had a Impaled Nazarene shirt on. Anybody familiar with that black metal band, Impaled Nazarene, if that's how it's pronounced? Never listened to that band before. There we go. I mean, it was an half-decent tune. It continues the consistency. Nothing standout, nothing incredibly special. I did like the tapping away on the bell there. We got Chase Through the Woods coming up next. This one's a classic. This one is a classic. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV. We're listening to Waking the Cadaver's Perverse Recollections of a Necromangler. This is a classic alongside Blood Splattered Satisfaction. Blood Splattered Satisfaction actually had more views, so that must be the fan favourite. But this one is a classic. This is shredded wheat. What more can I say? Let's go. Let's jump in. I mean, clearly, I think one of the most important factors to why this song was so successful back in the day is the amount of space to breathe we had in the instrumental, to just hear the insanity of that vocal performance. It's like no other. I mean, it's an ignorant tune, isn't it? It's an ignorant tune. The best bit about it, definitely. Well, I don't know. That bass boom, boom, like weed. That was ignorant. That was ignorant. Let's keep on moving. I mean, I'm familiar with that. Let's finish this record off. I know the insides of women. Jeez Louise. This is a long one to finish off. Let's get going. Come on. There's Rocksteady King of the Pit TV. I'm getting a light buzz on. Been sipping. What more can I say? I won't talk too much on that one. We've got another record to listen to after this, and I'm going to catch a nice buzz. I know the insides of women. Last track, we've been listening to Waking the Cadaver. Let's go. Track 11 of 11. This was out in 2007. Wow. My question is, what we're going to end this record on? Are we going to have a big slam to finish off? Here we go. That was a sick finish. We ended on an actual beatdown. An actual beatdown. That was sick. Yeah, I'm going to do one more video. I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this record. And I'll rate it out of 10 for you. I'll see you there. Yo, what's good, people? Yes, now, bless now. It's Des Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. My people, I just listened to Perverse, Recollections of a Necromangler. Oh, I should be as tired as I am. By Waking the Cadaver. It was good, okay? So, to get I'm not going to recap my earlier experiences with this band, because I put it out there on the first song or two of our listen through, which should be on this channel at this point, if you want to check out my history with MySpace deathcore adjacent scene kid music, or, you know, extreme brutal music from the mid 2000s. I was a bit of a scene kid. I've got no shame in saying that. It was part of the culture I was involved with, and I'm very proud to say that, because I got sort of first dibs on these bands. Waking the Cadaver, Annotations of an Autopsy, Job for a Cowboy, Chelsea Grin, Suicide Silence, All Shall Perish, so on and so forth. I sort of came into finding myself in extreme music during that period, and this band was one of the bands at the forefront due to the extremity of the vocal. Blood Splattered Satisfaction and Chase Through the Woods in particular were doing the rounds as far as YouTube and LimeWire was concerned. And with me making that list, it makes me think of another band called Dr. Acula that were known for their vocals. There's a lot of Bree vocals, which we don't really go into here at Waking the Cadaver. More so extreme, like, brutal death vocals. But as far as the music is concerned, you do hear a sign of the times. It's not pure, unfiltered slam music. There's a little bit of hardcore in there, and there's a little bit of deathcore in there, or what was, you know, sort of the flavour of the times, which I find absolutely incredible. There's a great blend in this record. A good revisit to them classic songs, Chase Through the Woods and Blood Splattered Satisfaction, which I enjoyed. 11 tracks, 2 of them sort of being filler. We had an intro track and an interlude, so let's call it 9 tracks of music. I think it was more than enough. They could have done 8, to be honest. It became quite a powerful audio experience by the end of it. A little bit repetitive, maybe, for me. The fast bits, the noisy bits, definitely showing great respect to the extreme bands that came before, with the gravity blasts and the high intensity blast beats and the nonsensical guitar parts, like Last Days of Humanity I referenced, especially with that tinny snare just ringing off and kicking into them slams. A sign of the time was the bass drops, the 808 modules, boom, boom, very good. There's not enough of that nowadays in the music community I participate in, but in the 2000s they were definitely very cool and definitely something I want to bring back. I want to hear more of them because I find it quite exciting personally. Very good. The whole point of this band is the vocal, let's be fair. I mean, instrumentally, the band's extreme, brutal, catchy, groovy, talented to an extent, but it's the ridiculous, chirping, Terminator cricket, heinous killing vocals, which is the entire selling point. I like it when he goes into the death metal-esque vocal as well. The death metal vocals are fantastic. And if I was to rate this record, younger me would say otherwise. Me now, 5.5 to 6 out of 10, maybe. When I was listening to this record, I thought, wow, imagine if a band in the local community came out with something that sounded like this right now, with a new brand, with a fresh new start, involved in hardcore adjacent music. How would that go down? And it would definitely be superb. I think the people would really like it and respond well to it, and use it as an excuse to dance very ignorantly, which I'm a very big fan of. I like that. I like, I'm knocking on a little bit now. It's not what I used to be, but when I first started getting into hardcore music and so forth, the excitement and the adrenaline rush I experienced when people were being violent, dancing violently at the very least, and interacting with the crowd in such a fashion, it scared but pulled me in. I thought it was fantastic, and a band like this would have been very effective if they were placed within that crowd in this modern day and age. I know they still do play shows, and they do play shows with some like slammy beatdown hardcore crossover sort of bills, which is definitely fantastic. But I mean, if this was like a local band starting up with a record like this, it'd be absolutely mind-boggling. And that's about it. I listened to it for novelty value, and it was novelty value I received. If I was to listen to this record without prior understanding or history with the act, I don't know if I would separate it much from any other like slamming band, some slamming brutal death band. But without further ado, that's my final comments. I'm going to sign out. I'll see you on the flip side, people. Peace.